Alright, so I did a thing to the Trans Am there. It was leaking oil, and I was in denial, so I wanted to, check everything and do everything else first. I thought it was a valve cover gasket. It wasn't. And then the oil drain, the turbo oil drain was leaking a little bit, so I fixed that. The funny thing about it is I had the transmission unbolted, the starter out, the torque converter bolts out, and I saw that and I thought maybe it's leaking there, and then gravitating to the back of the pan, the flex plate, wind from the flex plate's just slinging it everywhere. So I put it all back together and tried it. Nope, that wasn't it. So I pulled the motor. I need to quit trying to do that. Pulled the motor. It's right there. As soon as I pulled it this morning. I woke up early because I'm not used to the time change yet, so I woke up early. I about had it already out from yesterday. I went ahead and pulled it out. It's the rear main seal. Leaking right there. You can see it. So I didn't get that in there straight. And plus the tool that comes with those, it centers on this, you push it, it doesn't work that good. It don't. I did that with mine, it leaks a little, it ain't too bad, but on my Camaro. But on Chris's Trans Am here, it's leaking pretty bad. But I've noticed these leak at the back. Usually it leaks right there where the cover and the pan meet. But I silicone that all the way across through there, and it's siliconed really good, and I don't really want to mess with any of that. So what I want to do is I'm just going to pop the seal out with a screwdriver, put it here and pry till it comes out. But what I want to do is I want to loosen all the bolts, and I ordered an alignment tool. You put that alignment tool in, then you torque these bolts in the correct pattern, and then you torque those. These go to like 18 foot-pounds, but and these bottom ones go to 106 inch-pounds. But anyway, I want to loosen all the bolts, all of them, these two, all these, and then I just want to pull the seal out first, loosen all the bolts, put the alignment tool in, and then torque everything down with the alignment tool stuck up in there so it can't move and it stays there, and then put the new seal on with the plastic guide as well. That's the way I want to do it. So we had to order an alignment tool, and Amazon Prime, one of the cheap ones, is like 20 bucks, and hopefully it'll get here tomorrow. Chris is going to come down tomorrow. We're going to fix this. We're going to throw it back in the car, and then hopefully after we get it back in the car and fixed and started, we're going to load it up, and we're going to go to the Heroes and Legends race in Paintsville, Kentucky, if we get it all fixed. We're going to go regardless. We want to take the car. There's a True Street Daily Driver Plus class. If you drive the car in, you can enter that class as long as you got, full interior. You're supposed to have an overdrive transmission, unless the car didn't come with an overdrive transmission. 1980 Trans Am came with a turbo 350. So, but it's got to have radials. So Thursday we got to get it back in and running. And then Friday we got to change the tires, load it up, and then take it. But yeah, we're going to put my tires on it. My tires that are on the Camaro are ET Street R, and those are a DOT radial. And yeah, we're going to try that class. And that's the game plan. So we'll pick up Chris from the airport tomorrow, and we'll get back to working on it. I'm going to go ahead and pop this seal out, like I said. Just a screwdriver, pry a little each prong until it pops out. And then I'm going to go get another seal. And then Chris ordered the alignment tool with Amazon Prime, next day delivery. So hopefully that'll be here tomorrow. But I went ahead and popped it out like I said I would. But look, it's actually too loose at the top. It just slides in and out at the top. It's too loose at the top. It's tight everywhere else. Right over here. Oh, wow. It's way off. Yeah. That's loose as a goose right through here. Got it way off. Cover's too hot up and this way. Up and that way. Oh no. No wonder that leak. Look at that. That shouldn't go in that easy. Down here, it's too tight. Up here, nice and loose. So yeah, all this area too loose. So the pan is too far that way. But we'll get the alignment tool. We'll get that fixed. Not a problem. Look what we got here.
So, YouTube.
Alright, so we bought a little Amazon tool. What'd you pay for that, Chris?
It's like $14.
Yeah, works pretty good. So before it was stupid crooked. And it was, the cover was that way. Now these seals come with a little plastic guide, which will guide the crank on the seal, or seal on the crank, and make sure all this stays the way it should. But there's no way that tool that comes on them seals to get this cover straight. This is the only way to get the cover straight. And that's, I got lucky on mine, it barely leaks. But Chris's leaks good. But put this tool in there and it keeps the cover straight. Now we're going to torque the cover down in a crisscross pattern, 18 foot-pounds. And then we had to loosen the pan too. And then once we get everything torqued down, this should still go in and out pretty easy. I had to tap it in a little with a rubber mallet, but it shouldn't be hard. Like when we first started, it was really hard to get in there. But yeah. Well, it shouldn't leak now. So what we did, we're just replacing the seal. I popped the seal out just with a screwdriver in these little grooves. And then I loosened all the oil pan bolts up, all the cover bolts up. And then we got that tool to go in there. And then we torqued down the cover bolts in a crisscross pattern. Then we torqued down the oil pan bolts in a crisscross pattern, all to 18 pounds. Now we're doing these two rear bolts to 106 inch-pounds. And then we'll make sure, after we torqued the cover, we made sure the tool still slid in and out of there. And now we're going to make sure it slides in and out now. It ain't the easiest.
No, man, use the one doing it. It's pretty tight though. Oh, there's a lot of gap at the bottom.
Well, now the cover is too far down. It was too far this way. So we loosened the bottom pan bolts and the cover bolts. I'm going to try this again until we get it straight. Well, every time we tighten up the pan, it threw the center off on the tool. I put a bunch of RTV on the back of the pan because I didn't want it to leak back there, because I've heard of people having leaks. Well, I put too much because when you tighten it, it pushed the cover up, even with it torqued down, and threw our tool out of alignment. Now, before we was having to hit it with a hammer to get the tool to go in and out. Now you can do it by hand. I had it cockeyed. Chris had to do it. But yeah, it slides in and out by hand now. There ain't no need to tap on it with a rubber mallet. So, went and got another Felpro oil pan gasket. That's the third one we've bought. $70 a pop. Well, no, the first one come in a kit. The second one Then we bought one. And those Velcro ones are at the parts store. They're $70.
It's hard to get it on there without going a little crooked.
Yeah, if you go any crooked, it don't want to go on. But yeah, that's a lot better than. Yeah, the trick is gank it goes straight on. But yeah, that's good.
We gotta torque it down.
Now we're going to torque it down. And what I did was I held the bottoms because it'll move this way still. So I held the bottoms to make sure it was straight. Which I'm told that you can put the pan on there without the gasket and it'll hold that straight. But we didn't do that. I just held it with my fingers to make sure it stayed straight. And Chris snugged those up. See, in this, it goes in and out good. Now it's, see, it spins and goes in and out good now, but before we couldn't get it out. Now we're going to torque it down, make sure it stays, put the pan on. This time we're just going to put silicone in all four corners where the covers meet the block on all four corners, and then just put it back on like that. And hopefully this time we torque the pan on, this will still spin. It should still spin. There's a tight spot. I wonder what that's about. But yeah, anyway. And you don't have to pull the motor to do this, but I'm glad I did. Because we'd had to lift the motor up just to get the pan off. Because it don't clear the cross member, K-member, whatever. It's not really a K-member on these cars. Anyway, we're going to torque her down, make sure it still spins. Put the RTV in the corners. Sweet.
You just get it a little crooked and that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, there you go. That's how it should go in and
I
out.
like spin it when you go on there.
Alright, RTV on all four corners, just where the pan and the covers meet. All four corners.
We haven't done the big bolts.
Torquing the pan down,
We haven't done the long bolts.
but we still got to do these long bolts. They're usually the ones that make the difference. But yeah, that goes in and out easy now, and it spins. Alright, there we go. It's all torqued down.
Oh, dude.
It gets stuck. If you cock it any little
There
bit,
you go.
it gets stuck. But yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. And now what we'll do is we'll use the plastic on the tool to line it up here. And then we'll use the back of this tool to beat it on. Like that right there. Now I've heard of people putting RTV on the outside of these, but the directions, all the directions I've read, put it in dry. So Chris is cleaning that out the best he can. But there's an outside and an inside. I'm half blind. Pretty sure this is the outside. See if it says it anywhere. Yeah, see there's the dot. I think the dot goes to the outside. Which makes sense. This would be the inside. There we go. Chris found it. Where's it?
Right there.
In the black? Yep, there you go. This side out. So I was right. So the
Side with the dot.
the actual seal faces towards the outside, up inside there. But yeah, it's the side with the dot. All right, then we'll put it on just like that. And then we'll use the back of this tool, try to tap it on as even as we can with that rubber mallet. Well, luckily Chris was watching because I almost put the dot on the inside after I went over all that. But there we go. We use this side of the tool. We'll use that piece to guide it on the crank piece, and boom, right in. I'm very confident that that is perfectly straight and is not going to leak. Guys, when you put your covers on, use one of these, because my car leaks. If you're familiar with the channel, my son's car, and then mine's a 96 Camaro, and it leaks, but it didn't leak nothing like his was leaking. Mine on the dyno just throws out a, you know, a drop here and there, but his was leaking pretty bad. But yeah, it's impossible. A lot of people say, well, this is the tool. You cannot get that cover straight with the tool, because, I mean, you probably could if this stayed on the seal as you tighten these bolts. But when you tighten these bolts, this pops out and your cover ain't tight yet. So there's no way that's going to get that cover tight. Get you one of these. They sell really good expensive ones. That one worked pretty good. And I'm pretty confident that's not going to leak. All right. All right, flex plate's on. Let's put her back in. Pretty confident that ain't gonna leak. All right, we got her back in. All we need is zip tie some wires back, water, starter, torque converter bolts, and transmission bolts. Finished up. We do have one transmission bolt up here in, but I have to put the bottom 4 in. We about got her licked. What do you think about her?
About ready to go racing.
I think we're gonna make the heroes and legends. It's about, I think, 12 o'clock. Not too bad.
12 o'clock.
What fought us the most was trying to get where those solid motor mounts hang up and down. I usually just take those off, and it's a lot easier. I don't know why I didn't do that this time. So we fought with it. It wasn't too bad though. We got her to drop in and line up and everything. But yeah, I got her licked. So the next video, be us at Heroes and Legends tomorrow night, Friday night.